Welcome to Fiber Hustle. My name is Chip.
My name is Aaron.
I like to cut it close, sew at a sensible speed, and grow old gracefully.
Ooh, I like to knit and crochet, and there's lots of green in our life right now, but I'm not a big fan of green water.
Oh, God. And you like to watch.
You do! Episode 58 of Fiber Hustle coming to you almost live.
Almost live?
Almost live, because it's, we record and then it goes up. And yeah.
Okay, we're 700,000 degrees of separation.
Exactly. It's like Kevin Bacon.
Tell me more about this color green.
This color green. Where do I start?
Well, okay, so this all that you're seeing here, you would think that we were like, oh, we were curated. Look at this whole look. I mean, like we're dazzling in front of you and very polished. It just kind of happened.
It did kind of happen. I knew you would be wearing this magnificent thing today. So I was like, oh, I'm going to wear my kind of magnificent thing because this is the first sweater that I ever knit.
You're all of this.
This is my all of this. It's my flax sweater from many years ago, made in, I don't remember the colorway, but I know it is Vanna white yarn. So, and I still love it. I still pop it on. It still kind of fits. And yeah, so today, that's what's happening.
So why don't you like green?
I don't have a problem with green.
Apparently you do.
Why? Oh, okay. So we'll catch up in a little bit.
Okay. We learned we're not blue toilet water people.
Exactly. So I think it was probably a month ago. I'm sitting there and we're like,
on the couch, not sitting there.
No, we're sitting there next to each other on the toilet. It's really hard to get both our cheeks on there.
We have a two-seater.
Do you remember that SNL skit from years ago in the 80s? It was Victoria Jackson and I think Kevin Nealon, and they did the love toilet.
Oh my God.
Where they were facing kind of into their eyes and there was one flusher. If you remember that, you're probably around our age.
One flusher for the two.
Yes, because
I wasn't ready.
Because you hit them together holding hands.
Aw.
It was, that's never going to happen in our house.
That's not us.
That's so not us. I'm Fort Knox in the bathroom.
I mean, he has one of those New York City bathrooms that there's 4 locks. There's the channel thing.
We're not going to get into the bathroom talk,
I'm the one that leaves the door open.
Yeah, disgusting. So you're trashy. I'm not. So anyways, we were cleaning our bathroom. On the couch, cleaning our bathroom that day afterwards. And we're like, oh, we should get those things that kind of automatically clean the toilet. We've had them before.
The toilet cakes.
The toilet cakes or something. And for some reason, this one pipes up, oh, we probably want the blue ones. That way we know when they're dissolved and gone. They're dissolved and gone.
If you get the white ones with just the straight up bleach, then you never really know when it's done doing its thing. And I thought, oh, well, the blue, it's like having one of those turkey things, it pops out and the turkey's done.
Exactly.
When the water is no longer blue, you're like, oh, okay, another cake's coming.
It took us about 5 hours to realize that we are not blue toilet water people.
The only thing that is missing is the shag carpet in the bathroom, one of those bacteria Barbies, one of, like your grandmother had crocheted up one of those little dollies, and then you put your extra toilet paper things under
the dress,
under the little quinceañera dress, and the blue toilet water. And we do not like it. It's freaky because when you're done, it's no longer blue, it's green.
Yeah. And it's like, what I don't know what to look for. Not that you look for things, but it's just very weird. And what's weirder is it came in a 5-pack, and we have 3, not the lap of luxury. We have 3 toilets in this house. So when they run out, I'm like, there's only 2 left. I mean, do we donate them to the neighborhood somehow who wants these blue cakes, or do we continue using them?
Well, if they started out green, we could just throw them in the ponds, and so maybe with the blue, we could just find a pond that could use a little zhuzhing, and like they do in Chicago for St. Patty's Day.
Oh, I love it! But I can't wait to show you all this new blue yarn I have.
Okay, so
No, that was a joke.
did you just flush?
Yes, I just flushed blue yarn. That brings me back because my grandmother, when we were little kids, used to tell my sister all the time. My sister we'd go to my grandma's house. We would do an Easter egg hunt, and she would find the blue eggs, and my sister would never go for the blue eggs. So my grandma asked my sister one year why she didn't go for the blue eggs because she thought my grandmother was dyeing them in the toilet because my grandmother had the blue stuff in there. True story. I didn't make that up. My sister's adorable. Love her.
Okay. How you been? Is this what you've been missing?
Yeah, exactly. We just went directly into blue water and all that good stuff. So
Okay, so Aaron,
that's me.
why don't we just get right into it?
Do you want to get to it? Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be doing catch-ups throughout, so let's get into it. What, you made that?
Okay. I did make that. Now, if you follow us on Instagram, Fiber Hustle, you may have saw this maybe a month and a half ago. One of my favorite things I have finished in a very long time in the color of green. This is our colorway, our Witch's Green, question mark. This came out way before Wicked. But anyways, this is the Rosa Canina by Lisa Haynes. It is a cabled, like a ribbed cabled shawl that's triangle shaped, and it is gorgeous, and it was a pleasure to knit. Now, was it a very quick shawl? No. But look at all these little ribbed cables. I think you can probably see the detail in your monitor on your TV. But oh my gosh, this was like one of the best things I have knit in a very long time. And it looks great on me. No biggie. I don't know if I can throw it in right now, but I don't want to. Actually, it's hard when I'm trying to put something on and the microphone is there, but because I don't want to get it all scratchy and things. So this is a $7.94 pattern. That is because it's euros. Euros convert to the USD. So us in the USA, it's $7.94. You need 786 yards of DK, and it was done on a US 7, which is 4.5 millimeter needles. To be honest with you, I think I finished a little bit earlier because I was concerned I was going to run out of yarn. Our yarn that we have is 246 yards each skein hank. So I ended a little bit earlier. We did have some yarn left over, but this is one of the best things I literally have knit in a very long time.
What makes you say that?
Just because one, Lisa's, well, fuzzy right there. Lisa's patterns are written beautifully. There's really no confusion or anything like that in there. It's thought out, well written. There's some charts and things like that in there. If you're a chart, there's also there's instructions if you are a written reader person to get this. I never got bored with it. And you'd think that after doing so many cables, you'd be like, okay, great, I have a few more rows of these cables to do. But for some reason, it just kept you engaged and entertained, even though there's no color changes or anything like that. And it's just going to grow into a triangle. But the payoff is fantastic. Again, it's not something you're going to knit in a weekend. It's going to take a little bit of time, but being DK,
I mean, both sides look good.
Helps. Oh yeah, even the back looks good.
Well, and the thing is you've been doing cables for
I love a cable.
several years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the back side, and then you've got your front side. But really, you've held on to cables. It's like I know everybody kind of gets into their favorite flavor, and I think cables are your favorite flavor.
They are. I am going to put this on correctly so people can see it, just because I'm going to try to put this on.
So the pattern
correctly.
was easy to read?
Yes, the pattern was easy to read. The instructions are great. This doesn't look too bad right now.
I mean, I'm loving the whole combo with the, the, hey, mister, you want a newspaper?
Hey, mister, hot off the presses. For some reason, I'm going through this hat phase. It will probably leave soon. People say I look all right in it. So, I bought one of every color. Just kidding, I did not. But yeah, so really enjoyed working on this. I was knitting this also for me, and for a sample, because this is one of our favorite colors. We have it in DK and in fingering. This sounds like a plug. It is, but it isn't. I didn't mean to be gross. But what I love about this yarn is it's a tonal and a semi-solid. It's really green, but sometimes there's some really darker greens in there. And there's some kind of gray in there at times. It depends how the yarn and color is going to break when I'm dyeing it up. So it just gives it a little bit more character and lushness, and it's beautiful. And I love our BFL base. It's perfect.
I loved it so much that I made myself a sweater.
I know. Tell me more about the sweater. You finally knit for yourself.
I finally have my first adult hand knit that sometimes you got to top yourself. I mean,
it's gorgeous.
No, I got love mail in the doorstep mailbox.
Yeah, we don't have a clever name for mail that comes to our
Tree
house.
mail, air mail.
Yeah, exactly. Outpost, those kind of things.
International mail.
DHL, all the good stuff.
No, International Mail was a clothing magazine back in the 80s, 90s. But anyway, my friend Christine, she knit me up a sweater, and the fun thing is that it was almost last year around Rhinebeck that her and her friend Susan, she's like, "You're about my son-in-law's build. Can you do me a favor and just send me your measurements?" And so I sent them after being nagged because I didn't send them as quickly as she had requested, but really I found out that they were for Christine, and Christine was just raring to go on her witches are green, our witches green, and so it's been blocked. And I'm telling you, Christine, even when before you said you gave it a quick wash or something, but you didn't fully block it.
Yeah, we blocked it here.
We blocked
it. It's a superwash BFL.
It comes down perfectly.
Like an inch and a half or so.
I mean,
so it came down a little bit further.
It fits me. I mean, like it fits me like one of Kevin's sweaters fits him.
Kevin has really good sweaters.
He has good sweaters, and like I love the length. Apparently,
what is the sweater pattern?
I will check my technology.
Okay, we'll check it after. Right? Apparently, what?
I think Christine said she got a little pissy with it when she was making it.
Oh,
and
it doesn't. I don't see the hate in it. So I don't understand why.
Yeah, so she was a little frustrated, but she came through. The pattern is the Cozy Classic Raglan from Jessie Made Designs, and it's MAED. I don't know if that's a typo in,
I don't
texting, but we'll look it up. Cozy Classic Raglan from Jessie Made Designs, and sometimes you can't wait for your loved one to make one. You've got to have friends.
Because you got to have friends.
So, wait. So, wait. One, thank you, Christine.
Thank you. Get some off my
doing the Lord's work. Two, is it only the first sweater that is the birth of
what?
the royal birth. The boyfriend curse.
I don't know how the boyfriend curse works, but I heard if you, like we all know, if you knit a sweater for your boyfriend.
The first one.
The legend is...
The first one.
It's the first one?
I think so.
So you and Christine are breaking up.
We're done.
We are done. Shift delete.
Yeah, so thank you, Christine. You really are. You're doing the Lord's work.
That's great.
I love it. So when Aaron blocked it, he didn't quite...
I didn't fudge with the arms at all. I just added, when I say add a little bit of length, when I blocked it and stretched it a hint, I went this way. I didn't go this way, and I didn't do the arms because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So now that we know,
I'm great with the length.
If we block it again, we can try to see if we can kind of make the arms a
if you want to, you can ever so slightly do it longer, but definitely just it's funny longer, because everything else that you blocked, it's perfect. It's roomy. Mm-hmm. There's just enough positive ease, I would say.
Oh, Look at those big words you're using.
But yeah, and I'm loving it. So Ashima.
Good. I think it looks great. So good
Green
job.
is my favorite color. Blue is your favorite color,
I
Christine?
love me a blue and a gray.
Christine, Aaron loves a blue.
Nobody has that kind of time to knit me a sweater. Even I don't. So. That's great. Okay.
So Christine made that?
Yes, she did. It's amazing. Let's go to you. Chip.
Yes.
You made that?
Well, okay. So I've got a lot of halfway hose.
Oh, okay.
I've got a slew of you made that's, but they're all for the shop. So
okay.
I can do a speed round through that since they are you made that's.
Yeah, let's do some you made. They are you made that.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
It's our little show, Dog and Pony thing.
So I did. Y'all know I love to make my chip baskets, and I needed a break from that because literally I have sewn so many. I've quilted so many. So I had to take a break. And so, what was it? 2 months back? Something like that.
We recorded last in February.
Yeah, so 2 months back, I came out with the chip bag.
Ooh.
And
people seem to be loving it.
Those sold out almost immediately. And so I came with round 2. And again, I'm on the same kick. You want color. Look at the size of us and how big this thing is. This is
like Godzilla.
Honey, it's got 2 pockets on the inside, plenty of room for your make. You could take this to your local knit night. You could take this to the baseball game. I don't know what you're gonna do, but don't wait.
Don't wait.
Well, there's more.
To show you like a little behind stage, this is how we stage them. So this bag of yarn that I have here is my worsted target base. There's 12 hanks in here. So this is
and that's what this rolled up.
Yeah, this is in there to give it a little bit more oomph when we're taking pictures and showing it off. So this much will fit in there with your needles and things like that.
So this round I went, what did I do? I did stripes and I did plaids. So starting out with the stripes, and everybody loves blue. So just take it, you got it open, and look, literally, here's your two deep pockets.
And these are bigger. Did you say these are bigger than the last round?
Yep.
Okay. A little bit taller.
These are a little taller because I was figuring, like I want people to be able to basically have like a shanklet. Like if you wanted a big ass project, boom, you can do that. So I've got all kinds of colors that I'd love to breeze through. And we may have to throw these on the floor. So again, my mission was, okay, the effing world is doom and gloom. We all need color.
That's how I feel too. I've been dyeing more colorful yarn just to get some joy up there.
We need some joy. So we've got yellow and green plaid. We've got a blue plaid. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this.
I love, love, love.
What is that, like a peach?
I'm on this orange and pink kick. I love, love, love. Green and blue. We've got purples and blues. Actually, I'm sorry, pink, purple, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
And then a different version of pink, purple, and blue.
Pretty.
And I was surprised. We put these up on the website a couple of weeks ago. I did black, gray, like monotone colors, and I couldn't believe how many actually sold of that. So we've got there. Now we're going to get into the stripes.
Gray stripe.
Gray stripe. We've got green stripe. We've got blue stripe.
These are really nice.
And yellow green stripe.
Who's not into yellow? It's spring.
Purple passion. Purple and that's a blue, I think. Yeah. And then orange and yellow.
Love it.
Love it. Hot for summer. And then purple
and
and pink.
Purple and pink.
I have made so many of these, so I'm excited. Just take them, and please, if you do get them, I want to see where you're taking these.
Yeah, show them off to the world.
I love them. I love them. Get yourself some color. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
And yeah, so that was you made that?
Yeah, you worked on that for a very long time.
Yes.
Couldn't work on anything else.
Oh, and then the other thing I would say is that from the first round, I made these a little differently too. That I went from the first round had a nylon strap. And this time, because they were so rigid, this time I went with a cotton, 100% cotton on the strap. And that just gives it a little bit, it relaxes a little bit more. And it might make it a little easier. So I'd love if you got one, if you got two, each version. I'd love the feedback because, how you're using it is really, it directs on how I make things. But love it.
Good job. I love
And they're
them.
a lot of fun.
They are. And they hold so much.
I made that.
You did make that.
Aaron.
Yeah. I did make it. So
you made that?
I think you might have saw this on the last episode as well. This is the Rocketeer scarf by Maxim Sear. It is a $6.89 pattern USD.
Why are you putting exact prices?
That is the conversion from Canada.
So why don't you just say $8?
Because I want to be truthful to the hustlers. I don't know what you want to bring to the show.
Oh my God, but what if the conversion rates change?
How often does that happen?
Daily.
Does it really?
Yes.
I don't know how these things happen. I just show my credit card and things come.
Oh my God.
No. So
PayPal does the work.
This is the Rocketeer scarf by Maxim Sear. It is huge. Can you hold one side?
I'd be happy to.
I mean,
oh my God.
See, okay, let's do this little game. You ready? Just think of it as a train. The train is leaving the station. The train is still going. And here it comes this way. It is at least 7 foot long.
Is this so that when you have 3 kids, you wrap around the 3 and just say, hold hands?
Exactly. Hold hands. It's very that. It was really fun to knit, but I will tell you that when you get halfway, you're like, oh, I think I'm halfway. And I've used this analogy in the past. It's like driving through Montana. When you're in Montana, you're like, yay, I'm in Montana. Then like 5 hours later, you're like, ooh, I'm still in Montana. Am I ever going to get out of this state? So it is a longer knit than I thought and expected it would be. And it's also a DK weight, which makes you think it's going to go a lot quicker than it is. It just doesn't for some reason. It was good to work on. This is
light.
Yeah, it's light. There is one section, though, when I came to the end of section 4, I could not get the count right. I think I mentioned it in the last episode. Our BFF Carrie from Creative Obsession was also making this. She could not get the count right, but looking in the notes of other people's notes, nobody ever mentioned it. So I kind of had to fudge a few things to get it to work. But then...
do you remember where you were in...
Yes, I said section 4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
4.
Section 4.
I'm hanging on every word.
I know. You're just like, oh my gosh, tell me more. But it was in section 4, and I was like, I just can't get it to work. Did my own little thing, and it works. And this thing, it will... See? It will just go around and
Maybe
around.
not whip it.
Whip it good. No, I enjoyed making it. It's just I don't know when I'm going to wear it. I think for those that follow us on Instagram, I did a little story. We actually had 1 6-hour day of snow. So I ran out, put this on, kind of did a little snowy Instagram story. And so I got to wear it then, but it's going to have to go back into retirement until maybe the next cold or snow or something
Retirement?
like that. It's going to retire for a little bit. Well, what do you say? Put it on the shelf? Probation? Something like that.
Storage.
Storage, yes. But the darkest color here is Gregorian Chance. The lightest color right here is Have You Looked Outside? And this blue is You Put in a Pool. I'm really into naming yarns kind of questions because I'm a little bit weird. Who wants to have like blue, gray, dark gray? But if you ask the questions, it makes the yarn more interesting.
What lot numbers were those?
I do not do lot numbers because I am a very small batched hand dyer. But if you do order a bunch of things, obviously we try to match them up the best that we can. So yeah.
So speaking of
Gorgeousness?
storage,
Yes.
our friend Rob is having his home tented.
I'm sure he's hanging on to this right now going, what is Chip going to say?
No, I know he knows exactly what I'm going to say. So
Okay.
he's having his home tented, and he has had, since he lived in Seattle, now moving into LA, he brought the moths with him. And so he's having his house tented for termites, and he's like, no better time than the present. He's taking all of his wool, all of his knits, and he's putting them under that tent.
Is he really?
Yes. And so he's going to kill all those moths.
Really? And Rob, have you seen the show Breaking Bad? Because that's kind of how it started. So make sure you check in on these people.
Moths?
Every once in a while. That's how moths started the show Breaking Bad. No, that's when they started cooking the things in Breaking Bad, is when they tented some houses and they're supposed to like do that whole spray thing. They would cook in there at night.
Oh, well, that's not that kind of deal. Rob's really trying to battle some termites.
Okay. But yes, I think that is a brilliant idea.
Do you guys ever have issues with, we have been so
We have
fortunate.
been lucky, knock on wood, because I've heard it is a nightmare, and I don't know if because we have cats, maybe?
I would be so heartbroken. All the knits that you've made me.
Do you want me to go bring out all the knits I've made you that have just been sitting in your drawer for I don't know if you're knit worthy.
So, you know what? Who knows how to make us a cedar chest?
Subject change.
Christine, sweater, check. Who knows how to make us a handcrafted cedar chest?
You know how us crafters are. Every once in a while, like, oh, I want to do clay. Oh, I want to do wood and cedar. I want to write with pens and stuff. So
write with pens.
I know.
Sit with a crayon.
No, I know Jeff and like Kevin are really into their fountain pens and stuff these days. I'm like, who has time to write? Totally kidding. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. But yeah,
I didn't know about that one.
You didn't know about that one?
No.
Oh, I heard about it every Thursday.
Oh, okay.
These kids are writing these letters, and all they need is the little stamp with the ink. What do they call it? When you send it with the crow flies and you have your emblem on there, just like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
What is that called? It's a stamp?
It's
your
called
seal.
security.
Your seal, yes.
Security.
Okay. So talk to me when you get into seals, because that looks more fun. Not seals. Or. I mean, like, seals.
Have you had your medicine today?
Maybe that's the problem.
Okay, Aaron.
No, wait. Yes. Chip, do you have any more you made that?
I do not. Aaron, you made that?
That's all I made. No, wait, sorry. It's literally right in front of me. So, a month ago, we had the Dishcloth Revolution. It was the 5th annual revolution where a bunch of us get together for 1 week only, and we knit dishcloths or crochet or do whatever you want with the dishcloth. So we had 2 Zooms, met up with a bunch of people. It was super fun. And I have some things here. Some of them I don't have because they're actually being used right now. But this is just your standard dishcloth. This, our friend and hustler Christine sent me around Christmas a little care package that had some Rowan cotton yarn in it. And she goes, hey, maybe use this at the next revolution. So this is 2 fingering weights of cotton held together to make the standard dishcloth. And this, I'm used to, was Sugars and Cream and
This is
Knit
super
Picks first.
soft.
I know. So maybe this stuff should not be knit into dishcloths, but I would just like to, I can't endorse it because I really don't know a garment with it. But this Rowan Summer Light 4-ply made with Egyptian cotton, if I was going to do like a t-shirt or something for myself, probably not fingering if they had a DK or worsted base, is the softest cotton yarn I have personally felt, and it is luxurious. I wish I had like a sugars and cream or something here so you can feel it next to
How's
it.
the shrinkage? Since it's 100% cotton.
I don't know yet. We'll have to check it out because these have not got wet yet. Some of the patterns I did, like this one right here, is the ridge pattern, which looks really cool. This one took a little bit of time. I loved making this one. I'll probably show you that side. This was from my 52 weeks of Dishcloths by Knit Picks, and I also have the 52 more weeks. So if you're looking for any dishcloth patterns, I recommend these two books because it has 52 of them in each book. So it's just really fun to pull out something and not just like this is your standard dishcloth, which is fun to knit, but it was nice to be more intricate with some things. And there's one that's on the needle now that I did not finish, that I need to finish, that was like mosaic and slip stitches, which is very interesting to work on. It's just taking a lot longer than I thought it would. And that's why it is not here today, because it's somewhere in the house right now. But yeah, it was a great revolution. Can't wait till the 6th one. Am I rambling today? I'm so sorry. I guess I'm rambling today, but at least I look adorable. Do you have anything to say about the revolution?
I think I was revolted.
I was revolted.
For the 5th year in a row.
You're like, I did it, and that's all that matters for the 5th year.
Go team!
Well, is there
revolution?
Is there anything that the quilting or sewing community can do for the revolution, or is it only knit, crochet?
No, of course.
Like that?
So I will say that I was kind of jabbing at my friend Jen and saying, hey, because she bought, now I think it's been like 2 years, she bought her Bernina and it came with the embroidery unit, just like mine. And I was like, oh, you could do some tea towels, you know, some embroider the tea towels because, you know, sewing up there in the kitchen, you know.
You sew in the kitchen?
No, you use whatever you're making in the kitchen.
There it is.
And she is the queen of add to cart, but never check out. And she actually checked out. She bought some tea towels. Jen, I bet you there anything that they're still in that cellophane package.
I like how you call your friends out like that.
Of course I do.
Basically, you're saying get going. So does this mean next year, when we have the revolution number 6, you and your little quilty friends are going to do like
that's very condescending.
You and your little quilty friends are going to maybe attempt to make some revolt and make some tea towels.
I'm not making the tea towels.
Well, you're going to embroider
back to our friend Rob. He could make the tea towels on his loom.
True.
With his shuttlecock, and you put that thing back and forth. Make
that
the
looks
tea
very
towels.
Interesting. I think that would be.
I would love. He has it looks like the size of a upright piano, and I would love to have something like that.
We should go visit Rob.
I would think that would be so much fun.
He gets the circus tent off.
He gets some exercise. But yes, I will do some embroidered tea towels, and they could say anything on them. They could be anything.
I feel like I know what you want them to say.
I know what I want them to say.
But
in this current climate, and that's all I'm going to say.
That's awesome.
Okay, Aaron, what are you making?
I am making currently something that is not even here. So I am going to have to go upstairs, and then you are going to have to speak for yourself.
No, if it's not here, it's not here.
Okay, I will tell you what I'm making. You all, I am making a sweater that may be the size of Chip if it fits. If it doesn't fit, it is not the size of Chip. It is a Bibliophile 3 by Alicia Plummer. Again, I have nothing to show you because it's upstairs.
Year 2026 is my year.
But I finished almost the top. I'm at the bottom ribbing. It's a very easy pattern. There's no nonsense and jargon. It's like really not dumbed down, but it's just like, here's the instructions, and it seems like it's going very well. I'm using my Colorway and DK BFL, the color of thunder. And once I finish the ribbing, I'm going to attach the sleeves. It's almost like this, but obviously, since it's a different designer, a little bit different. But
Love it.
It would probably look like this, except for this is very pronounced here around the sleeves.
The raglan.
Yeah, I don't think the raglan is as pronounced in this bibliophile. So
I am so excited.
are you really?
I am.
Okay. We went back and forth many, many times of him having the cables on the sweater, just on the sleeves. And then I said one day, would you mind if I just made you a simple sweater? No, I don't want that. Okay. Then I started swatching, kind of came up with something. We were watching a TV show. I forget what it was, but somebody had like a little antler cable pattern on their sleeves. I said, well, that's what your sweater would, it was somebody had a cardigan. That's what your sweater is going to kind of look like. I don't like that. I was like, oh my God.
No, it was
We've
the
been going
stitch.
back
It was
forever.
because it wasn't a garter stitch. It was another stitch. That was the issue.
Was it?
Yes,
Mm.
100%.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to knit a sweater that is a large size, that if you fit into it, great. If you don't, it's a sample. So it takes the pressure off of me.
Okay, well, that's a lot to do with nothing to show for it. So
It's right upstairs, and you said not to go upstairs.
got to keep it moving.
Okay. So Chip, what are you making?
All right. So I have been so stubborn.
Oh my God. It's just your life, or
I
right
have
now?
been so stubborn because my friend Jenny Jo of Lamb Farm Designs, she had a sample of Sunny Days at QuiltCon 2025. No, 2020. Yes, 2025. And it was this exact color. And I was like, oh my God, the sample. Because really, it's like the samples for me, it like if I can see it right there and not just what's pictured, it's like, oh my gosh, add to cart. And so I bought the pattern. Jen, who I just threw under the bus, she
Mhm.
also bought this pattern.
Oh.
Now, I laughed because as I'm reading the instructions, I'm noticing that Jenny Jo, apparently, this is no secret, I'm not spilling anybody's business, has ADHD. She is a quilter who she was blowing through quilts that she was making because she's so fast and she's got that ADH mind. So when she was writing her patterns, she needed small pieces to work with to slow her ass down.
Oh, okay.
But the way that you do that is up to your experience level. And when you're writing patterns, sometimes it's easier to give people maybe not the most efficient or frugal way of making a block. So like this 9 patch that's in the center there, she would have you cutting out each little square and rectangle and sewing each of those little pieces. And I'm like, I ain't got time for that. So I pretty much had to turn around and rewrite the directions for all these pieces. So I found that I could make these pieces 4 at a time by I found a method. And I didn't quite come up with the perfect method, but I came up with a method. And I've almost got it perfected. But if you notice here, my method, unfortunately, the way I was trimming it, because I didn't have that part figured out, those little corners are actually cut off. My flying geese, I did correctly, so all my points are exactly the way they should be. But the good thing is that I'm consistent. So all of my points, it looks like that's the way it's supposed to be. So I started out in Jenny Jo's version, and Carrie, she gave me the gold fabric, and I already had the cream fabric. So of course, I didn't make one. I made 2 of these quilts, and Jenny Jo, she wrote the pattern so that you would do a nice rectangle, 3x4 layout. I love a square quilt, so I did a 4x4 quilt. Now, the funny thing is this is what are you making? Next thing is I have to put these on the long arm, quilt them, and then just do the binding. But when I got to the point where I was kind of screwed up on, this was the first one I was working on, and I was trimming all those blocks and I'm trying to sew it together, and then I realized, oh my God, all my points are gonna, and I was really thinking I was gonna have to remake all of those blocks. And I said, oh my God, I don't have a lot of that fabric because this, this cream fabric, I think it took, where's the pattern? There it is. The cream background fabric takes 4 yards. I didn't have a lot of it. I had my 4 yards.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay. And I put all the blocks that I had made, and there was like all the flying geese that I still had to make. I didn't make those yet, but I just had made my 9 patches, and I made my, I made these blocks. I think this one's called a chicken, a goose, or something. I think it's a chicken, a goose.
Chick and a goose?
Yeah, the name of this little thing, whatever the name is. But that's when I went to this guy and I started making this. Then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I don't care that I'm lopping off these corners, that like it is what it is. Give yourself some grace. So like this one, I really didn't lop off my corners. So I decided, okay, I've already started this one and this one. I'm going to make both. So you know me, I love to make 2 of anything, buy 2 of anything.
Yeah. Love both of them. But this one, it's just amazing
How
just
differently.
like in knitting, how different it looks just from the colors that you chose. This is 2 colors, this is 3 colors with the pop of this like chartreuse. It's just amazing how anything, you take any pattern and just add different colors.
Yep.
And you're just like, oh wait, I'm attracted to this. This one, it's not the pattern because the pattern obviously looks great. Kind of like, okay, and this one I'm like, yes, want some, please.
Well, and the fun thing is like this is the 2-tone or 2-color, and I was like, okay, I was gonna add the 3rd color just because I was like, I'm not sure, you know, do I want this to be gray? I see brown in real life, but it really is a gray. It's a warm gray, and this white creamy background. Or foreground. But then the green, I wanted to add that pop. I'm glad I didn't go any further because I feel like this green went a long way. So all I did was the centers of the 9 patch, and then the keystones, which actually this is the keystone. This is the middle of the 9 patch. That's the keystone.
I love it.
And the green, it went a long way. So on the, yes.
I'll press comments afterwards. Go on.
Okay. So on the
ketone,
the backing,
yeah.
The backing I'm going to do in the brown, and then I think I'm going to do a green binding.
Yeah, makes sense.
And on this one, I'm going to do a gold binding. And then I have this, and I like as soon as I knew I was doing a gold and a cream, I'm doing this on the back, and it I think is absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
it's busy, and dare I say it's opulent, maybe a little lady, but I just think it's the right quilt for this.
I think it's so cool.
So that's going to be the backing on that one.
I love it.
Aaron, what was your question?
Okay, so I have a couple questions.
Oh dear.
Will you quilt them the same?
Haven't even come up with a quilt plan.
Okay.
Second question.
Second question to, I'm going to call you out since you called out our friends Rob and Jen. Chip, would this have taken you as long if you would have just followed Jenny Jo's instructions and not have gone your own direction? Because I remember a few seam ripper episodes coming out on late nights and some words that I cannot repeat around the people, the hustlers.
So that was the thing, is that if I did a 4 at a time method, and unless you quilt, that's never gonna, it's not gonna make any sense to you. But there's different ways of putting blocks together. And so what I did is I create this big thing, and then you subcut, and voila, you've got 4 of them.
Okay.
So there were mistakes made. I sewed. I had a breakdown. Voila.
It's the year of breakdown.
Bon appetit. I sewed. I had a breakdown. Bon appetit. But hers, because they're such teeny tiny little pieces, like, so I would have had to cut out like 900,000 of these little, and because they're so small, it means I would have had to take piecing glue.
Yeah. Like postage stamp size.
Yeah. So like when you get really small, you kind of want piecing glue, because it's got to turn over. It's a whole 6-7.
Yeah.
Last thing I will say about it is that out of that 4 yards of cream fabric for this guy, I literally played fabric chicken. This is all the fabric I have left.
Wow. That's insane.
So I somehow am that good.
Wow.
To have this as the like, I could put my autograph on it. That's all I can do with it. I mean, somebody would probably like, oh my,
real collector's item.
They're going to be, oh my precious, and put that in their stash. Kind of like when people put little pieces of wool string in their stash, Carrie.
A lot of people like have this like the littlest.
Oh my
balls.
God. So yeah, fabric chicken, me one.
Good job.
Yeah.
Very proud of
you. Aaron.
Yes.
What are you making?
I am making, it is the Changing Staircase shawl. It's a single skein, one skein project by, I don't remember, Dragon Hoarder Yarn. I forget her name. I apologize for that. But it is just a single skein. I was looking something to just this is my card knitting that stays in the car in case I go do some knit nights. I went to a knit night last Thursday at the yarn store down the street, which was very nice. There's probably about 12 ladies there, I think. Hung out with them, and then Sunday I went to a knit crochet craft day in Capitol Hill. Totally different vibe. It was very Seattle, Capitol Hill hipster vibe, and I had a really good time there too. I didn't want to pay for parking, so I only stayed an hour, but next time I will see if I can stay longer. But this is a single skein shawl. This is the ADD. Is it? In my head, so I'm sorry. Am I very excitable today?
No, you're just like.
No, try living with me. It's very rough. I know it is. But it makes a great songwriter sometimes, even though you don't care for my songs. So it is a one skein project. Lots of yarn overs, and there is a lot of purling in this as well. So if you're looking for something that you're not into purling, this is probably not the project, but it's going to be kind of a moon crescent shaped shawl, and it's enjoyable. It's just taken kind of a long time because it is a lot of purling on the back to get this stockinette section.
Hold on. Tell the people what you want to say.
Stockinette section.
Wait here.
Before
say it again.
You get to the yarn overs.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Stockinette section. Is that cool? before we get to the yarn overs and things like that. So this is in our colorway Match on Concrete. It's our 80/20 fingering base. I love this color, and I didn't want to make socks out of this, but I wanted to show off this color, so I thought a one skein project would be the perfect thing to do.
So, purpose of this is for sample.
Yes, this is going to be a sample.
Okay, because we've got flock coming up this year, and so like you're like on sample frenzy.
I'm on sample frenzy. I know several hustlers have offered to make some samples and things like that.
Is this a sample?
It is now. Of course, it's a sample. I just, like I said before, I don't know how to repay people, and a lot of people are like, you don't have to repay me or do anything like that. So that's why I'm doing it on my own, except with the help from our friend Carrie, and if Christine sends amazing things like that. Those are our samples. So I appreciate anyone who's offered. I am just not at that place. So yeah, we are getting flock ready here because it's only 3 short
It's like
months
90,
away.
90 days. We're like nearing 90 days.
Do we have a calendar or something that we rip that says 89 days to flock?
We
Things
should
like
do.
that.
We should do.
We're very excited for it. So we can't wait to see you. If you do come to flock, make sure you come into our booth and say hello to us. But yeah, so this is what I am working on currently. It's more car knitting.
Okay, so you said this is crescent shape, and actually, I loved how you actually said it. You said crescent, and it sounded to me more British.
It's crescent. My schedule, is that how they say it?
Mm-hmm.
Schedule.
So, So, when this gets blocked out, is it like as moon shaped?
It will be triangle, moon shaped, kind of a combo deal, but it's more, I think, a crescent shape. So I got a ways to go so you can actually see it. So this is like, I think where your neck is going to go in here, and it's going to hang down this
How
way.
far are you? So this is one skein, so you're
Correct.
So you're about,
and I think it
a
takes
third of the way through?
Yeah, I don't have my technology with me. I would tell you how long oh, my technology is right there. That's all right. But I would say I'm probably about halfway, because once we start getting here, it's going to take more yarn because it keeps on growing. You increase every row with it's free pattern. So it's a knit front back. On the way back, you are doing a purl front back, which is kind of a purl front back. I got it now, but when you're learning how to do a purl front back, it's a little tricky, but you do get it in the end. So yeah, it grows every row. What?
nothing.
I don't know how to behave today.
No, I was just giggling because you said, eventually you get it in the end.
Clever. Eventually you get it in the end. Yes. So that's what I'm working on. And eventually it's going to look, I'm very beige and like that kind of color
tones.
today. Earth tones today. But yeah, it's
Actually, those two look hot together.
These colors?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They look distinguished. No.
I mean, you got the white of the beard.
I know. And since I think a lot of you, if you saw the last episode, wow, thanks for making it through that. Part of me is like, since I'm not currently employed, should I diet? And I'm like, diet and diet. I'm like, no, because part of me, I just would love to go back to a brownish style face instead of a whitish style face. But what can you do, right?
All right, great. Love it.
All right, Chip.
Yes.
What are you making?
I'm so excited. So I needed a break. I literally sat all of last week and I was working sun up to sundown, putting these two quilt blocks together, putting the quilt tops together. And I was just like, oh my God, I was so happy when I finally got that done, but I need a break from it. Before I just jump right in and start quilting them, I'm like, okay, what can I work on that is not getting myself into a whole another project immediately, but what? So I have a bin of things that I've started you know, you might call them UFOs, whips, whatever. No, they're not whips because you're not working on them. But the UFOs, and I was like, oh my God, I've always wanted to finish this. I just haven't. So where is it?
Oh, nice.
Here it is.
Here it comes.
So I started this a couple of years ago, and I found, I don't even remember how I did it. So I had that side channel I was doing the quilt stream. It's still there. There's still videos on YouTube. There's still an Instagram, but I'm really not heavy into like doing that. That's not my focus. But I started this, and a long time ago, I found this as a poster, and I'm sorry, I'm trying not to put that in your face.
Do you want me to hold it while you talk?
No.
Okay.
So I found this as a poster online, and it is the I looked it up on how to say it. Niterario Contemporary Art Museum in Brazil. And let me see if I can share. Okay, the real building. I have to go to Chrome. Sorry. Here we go. There we go. This is the art museum in Brazil, and I love, love, love. There was a poster I saw that was very similar, and you know what? I honestly cannot find the poster, but it had very, very much showing off this red, the red of the walkway. This thing is so beautiful. This building. And you can kind of get the it's right on the sea, and I was like, oh my God, that would make a really cool art poster. And so I found a way. I don't know, even remember how I did
This
this.
is probably 2020, I think we started this.
Oh my God, it was a long time ago. And so I made this into I think I went into Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and I made all of the file formats, and I actually cut it out on my Cricut machine. And then including the shadow on the ground and then the clouds, and I absolutely loved it. But when I came across it the other day, unfortunately, I had already had a different, this little sashing right here, not sashing, but inner border, the black inner border. I had it on a dark gray, and then I had the light gray here as an outer border, and then it was a hot mess. I was looking at it and I was like, I can't believe I did this work. I mean, like, truth be told, if I were to do this now, I know a lot more about applique that I would probably, and if I can even go tighter, my applique work here is so grody, like it is so funkola compared to what I know how to do today. But you know what? It's live and learn. This is where I was at the time, and just doing these inner borders, I'm okay with it. But now it's like it's stable. The other day, the other border that was in, I could actually put my finger through it.
Oh my.
It wasn't even sewn all the way down correctly. Like now, excuse me, sneeze. Now I know a trick on how to do it, and I love it. So I was talking to my friend Carrie, our friend, and then our friend Brendan separately, and I was like, okay, I don't want to do a lot of quilting on this. I do want this to be an art kind of project for the wall. And I feel like if I were to quilt this, even if I just did straight line quilting all the way throughout the whole thing, I think it would make it a little too busy. And so what I'm what I kind of figured out with Brendan, his advice was that you actually make a quilt sandwich out of this. You can use batting. I could use foam. It doesn't matter. Lay that down exactly on top of this, not on the back, like you, not working from the back, but actually put it right here on the front, and then lay. If I'm going to use black for the backside, then so you lay your whatever you're going to do to give it a little bit of heft, and then lay another piece of fabric. In my case, it's going to be black, and lay that here. Then sew just the perimeter, except for at the bottom, you would leave a space open so that you could flip it all inside out. So it's now a facing.
Okay.
So then all I have to do is I would sew up the bottom, sew that hole closed, and then you go in and you just reinforce with a running stitch or stitch in the ditch here, and maybe on the perimeter. That's all I have to do. And I want to do maybe a hanging sleeve, but I just think it's so visually striking that I would do this. I would do something like this again. I love the idea of having a fabric or like an art. It's not a quilt, but like artwork that is for the wall.
Would you just do it on your Bernina then instead of the actual quilt machine, since it's going to be so lightly quilted?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no reason that I need to bring this onto the long arm, especially if I'm just stitching in the ditch, and it's basically you're securing it so that it doesn't sag when it's hanging up on the wall.
Nice.
Love it. And I think I am just going to use foam.
Which room's it going to go in?
Don't know. It might go in here.
Oh, I like that.
So love it. So this is what I'm currently, that took me, actually, believe it or not, unpicking all of those stitches, because I did the first outer border, unstitched that, and then realized, oh my God, there's even issues with the next one. So I unpicked that. And then spent a couple of hours just doing the borders, and absolutely, I am so excited for this.
I think it's great. You should be.
It's modern. It's clean.
It looks like a magazine cover.
It could be, like the next TV Guide.
TV Guide. Everybody had it.
Conte Nast.
What's that?
It's a magazine.
Conte Nast?
Conte Nast.
What was that?
I don't know what they talk about.
Then why would you bring it up?
National Geographic.
Okay, I know that one.
So lots of fun, and I think I only have like maybe an hour or two more hours of work left to do on
this. Perfect.
Aaron.
Yes.
What are you making?
I don't have any other what are you makings. I have a few things I've dyed up lately that maybe some people have not seen, but if you have something that you would like to show, I say go for it.
No, we could do that, and then I do have some had to have it's.
Okay. I only have one had to have it.
Okay, so Aaron, you made that?
I did. So been busy in the dye studio the last few months, really.
I love your Thursdays. Do you know how many texts I've gotten from people saying they love your Thursdays?
1?
2.
Is it my mother? So Instagram, I do Dye Day Thursdays. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, I just do a little story on Thursdays of what I'm dyeing up. Anyone who's a dyer can do Dye Day Thursdays. But I was like, I'm home right now, so why not do a little Dye Day Thursday? So here's some things that if you don't follow Dye Day Thursday, that we got going on in the shop. Love this color. I was trying to get something else. I was trying to do the Asia album, Asia's first album that had like Heat of the Moment and things like that. Not quite getting the colors correctly. So I have liquid next to me of what I was trying to get. I said, why don't I try to come up with something a little bit different? So that one bird in South America? That is what this yarn is called. So that one bird in South America because it kind of looks like a parrot or something you would find down there or all kinds of birds that are in South America, because it has the gorgeous blue, the teals, the greens, and all that. This is on our 7525 BFL fingering base superwash. This would be great for socks, shawls, anything like that. But this is so vivid and so bright, it just wants to bring a smile right to your face. And I love this one.
Now, since you were going for Asia, do you have this recipe?
Yes, I do have this recipe.
Okay, so this is not an OOAK.
So it is not an OOAK. There's only 8 of them, well 7 now. Only 7 of them in the shop, and it might just be one of a kind, but I can redo it if anybody would like it, or take some of the colors out of that.
I love it. I mean, like, really, it does look like like a toucan.
Yeah, well, toucans look a little bit different, but like, what are the big ones? Like macaws, or what are the big parrots you see at the pet store sometimes? There's a red one, and there's a blue one.
The macaws?
Is that what it is? Or is the macaw the white one?
Well, the macaws are white.
Some kind of bird in South America.
Those who bird scream at your screen.
Mm-hmm. Somebody probably has one of those.
Love it.
Yes.
These are my colors.
These are all my colors. Then I have some new DK yarns, new to you all. This brown is delicious. That is what this is called. You know how I don't like boring names. This is a gorgeous brown that has a bunch of like green and blue and reddish speckles in there, which I think it's delicious. It's gorgeous. It just makes you want to go, make a whole sweater out of it. Then for those that are a little bit more adventurous, we have Canaries in Drag. It has the yellow and orange, a little bit of purple speckle in there with a little bit of fuchsia and hot pink. This is for the person that wants to be seen and stand out. We have Apricot Sleigh, because it kind of reminded me of an apricot color. Then I thought it was just too plain and kind of needed something else. And that's when I went a little speckle crazy with this. And
so what's that one called?
Apricot Sleigh.
Wow.
And I gave it a little bit more life. And then we have My Colors Mama, a Blush and Bashful, because this has a hint of a little bit of blush and bashful in it, because it's a tonal, but not like a super tonal. There's just a little bit of variegation. My suggestion is this brown is delicious, and My Colors Mama are Blush and Bashful.
Oh my God,
together
yes.
would make something exquisite. You can do a whole sweater in this with a little bit of color work in this, or a whole sweater in this with a little bit of color work of that. And I think it would be gorgeous together. Just because it sings, it pops, it brings it out a little bit more. So I think those are just perfect. So those are some of the newer colors I've been working on in the studio.
And how are you, do you have flock totally planned out?
No. I have pages and pages of things here that I Inspirations.
Not super secret recipes.
Correct. Not super secret recipes. Because you all know how I love to do my album inspired yarn. And so I'm just trying to look for maybe kind of a theme this year. I don't know if it's going to be a year this year is 2026. So I want to go back to the best album of 2016, 2006, 1996, that kind of theme. Or I am also...
Look at you decrement.
Yeah. I am also writing down all the Seattle bands that I love, because if you're coming for flock, you're coming to the Pacific Northwest, you're coming to Seattle, and why not have some albums and yarn inspired by this whole Seattle experience that people that don't live here, you're coming to, and get some of your favorite colorways from your favorite Seattle bands, which I'm working on that as well. But there's so many bands here that everybody loves. It's kind of hard to narrow down. And people forget, Hendrix is from Seattle, Heart is from Seattle, Queensryche, I mean, Ray Charles kind of got his start here, that kind of situation. And there's a lot of indie bands I love that maybe not everybody knows, but still I think the album covers would make a good color. So like if I do Death Cab for Cutie or Modest Mouse or Screaming Trees, things like that, will everybody know it? No, but hopefully the color will inspire you to pick it up and make something gorgeous out of it. I said that kind of slow and
Very like
relaxed this time.
That was coming from the heart.
I think we should play this episode backwards. That way it starts this way. But yeah, so that's what I'm going through. And also, this is something that's not going to happen. I looked at a bunch of movies from the Pacific Northwest. We're talking War Games, The Goonies, Short Circuit. I watched a bunch of those movies. I was like, what can I get inspired from to maybe do a Pacific Northwest movie thing? Harry and the Hendersons. And the covers of those DVDs, VHS cassettes for the people of my generation, didn't really grab me. So that's why I went back.
Oh my
to
God,
the
he
music
needs to be
section.
grabbed.
Does someone grab me, please? I just want to be loved.
So you need to feel it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't want to dye a yarn just to dye a yarn, or
You should do.
But well, no, I mean like purple in a pan and specklet fuchsia and say, oh, this is our limited edition flock colorway, because it would mean nothing to me. And that's why it has to mean something to me in order to put it out to you.
It reminds me of where a couple of years.
I know where you're going to go.
Exactly. 15 years ago, we decided we're going to learn how to paint.
It was probably more like 18, but yes.
And Aaron's just like, I don't want to be boxed in. I just, I want to feel it, and I don't. I just want my art to just like live.
And you guys know me well enough that's exactly how I talk.
It was.
I don't want to be boxed in.
It was.
Just let my art speak for itself.
It was. And like, okay.
You're like, okay.
Okay. Go in there and bang some hair.
Bang. I don't have much hair to bang. Like, head bang? Is that what you're going at? What do you mean, bang?
Well, your work always tends to be poofy when you're nervous. So, and now it'll be okay. Just go in there and bang some hair.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Steel Magnolias.
We're going back to Steel Magnolias. But,
yeah, I think there's a good compromise between stressing yourself out.
It is a little stressful.
And
I'm personally stressing myself out.
Relax and enjoy it. It's like if there's people that like, hey, I would love to see this. See if it floats your boat and do it. I mean, like, but don't.
It has to be something I listen to, though.
Don't get
like I'm not doing U2 or Phil Collins.
Oh my God!
It has to be something I listen to, or Sublime. Can't do it. Everything else are the Eagles.
And you're not doing.
I'm not going to give you my list of.
And you're not doing John Denver.
I have no problem with John Denver, but if you look at a John Denver album cover, it's more like CCR's album covers. I know album covers like way too well. It's just like browns and greens and stuff like that, and that doesn't excite me. It's like everything's like taken outside in the forest.
There's brown and green in this.
That is different. This one is a beautiful, delicious brown and green.
There's browns and greens in this.
Okay. Your homework, hustlers, is to look at John Denver album covers this week, and you'll totally understand what I am saying. Good day, sir. I said good day. So, what do you...
That's my had to have it?
Show us your had to have it.
Okay, so again, I think it was February that the Sew and Stitchery Expo,
which was dead this year. We're not talking bad about it, but we walked in and we're like, where is everybody and where are all the vendors?
So Sew Expo in Puyallup, Washington. Carrie and Jenny Jo had a booth, and we went pre-COVID, and this was nothing like, they're down to just the main building. It used to be that they were taking over an annex buildings, and like they had so much. This year it was only of the main building 3/4 of the way full, And it was like you could do it. I mean, like 6 hours would be more than enough to get through the whole thing.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but had to have it. So Jenny Jo was there, and I was looking at one of her samples, and she had this really, I don't know why, it sang to me. This one's called Poppy Patch, and this one I'm gonna do my best to not deviate,
Stray from the
pattern, because I'm not going to make it a career. So this one is finishing at 75 square. This one, the way she has it, is 72 by 78. But the only change that I'm going to make is, I love a square quilt, is I'm going to make this 72-inch square. So I've started to do some of the math on it, but what I'm going to do is Carrie helped me pick out some fabric for it, and I guess all of these are supposed to be poppies of different color, and so hers, this is going to take, just for the background, 4.5 yards. So I'm actually going to use this, if you get a chip bag, this is the fabric that's going to be, I love this art gallery fabric. This was a wide back that, like, when I'm sewing with yardage, I love a wide back. But it's just super soft. I love it. And it makes for, that's what I put into this one. And this is cream. It shows up on the camera probably really white, but it is cream, as you can see here. And then I've got these leaves that are going to be in the pattern. So all of these leaves. This, I wish I had her name. She was retiring. Oh, it's going to be on here. This is not ice dyed. This looks almost like ice dyed fabric, but she has a different method. I forget what, I don't know that I caught what, yeah, I can't find it. I don't know what her technique is, but the lady, this is from Star Design Fabrics, and she is in, where is she?
This says county.
I think she might be Oregon.
I think so.
Country of origin.
I thought it said county. Hee. Well, I don't have my glasses on.
You don't use them to read. You use them for distance.
Shh. These people don't know that.
Anyway, she doesn't do an ice dye, but these are all her technique, and she's retiring. So what you see is what you get. And Carrie actually picked up on the second day that we didn't go. She picked me up another one of these.
Oh, that's right.
So just so that I had enough, because I got to get 2 of everything. But I just think these colors are really so pretty, and I love kind of like the ombre that you're getting in some of the fabrics. So these are each one of these is 4 back quarters. So that brings me to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards. And we did the math between Carrie and the lady who made these. We have enough to get that through. And I think this is just going to be such a pretty spring quilt, which is really what I was hoping for. I have fall. I have Christmas. I have, what else do we have?
Lots of fall.
Lots of fall.
Yeah.
But we didn't have anything for spring, and I was like, oh my gosh, this one is going to be a good spring quilt. So if you'll put...
For next spring.
You'll put those in there. And then there's a shop in Renton, which I've never made it down there yet.
I'm going to do it afterwards so I don't crinkle.
Yeah, that's fine. So this is... Oh my gosh, what's the name of the shop? Because she was there and I was very happy to see her. Uh,
I don't remember, but she had a really good booth.
Wildwood Creative in Renton. So we've got this this pattern, and they had this on display. So all of these colors, and this is really going to read masculine, if that's such a thing. But like lots of dark colors, and
There was a version there that had 2 colors, which looked all right. But when you added like a few more colors, almost like the last same pattern, just the way you color it or how many colors you add, just really makes it more vibrant and pop. This is the one that we're like, oh, and we're like, oh, that didn't even look like the same quilt next to it.
this one's called Artemis Fowl. And the designer is, this is Toad and Sew. So I've done one of her quilts already. I think it was a couple episodes, or maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know, remember when I showed it. But I like her patterns. I like the way that she writes. So much so that I got 2 from her. So we've got Artemis Fowl for that one. And this one, I do have, it's a different pattern writer by Miss Make. And this is the Clava, and I'm very, very excited. I think the kit that I got is for the throw, because it's funny, her kit goes from 57 by 57, which I could add a border onto it and then, you know, get it to around a little less than this. But it goes 57 by 57 all the way up. The next size up is 95 by 95. That's
that king?
That's a queen.
Queen.
Yeah, so you can see like here that like it goes from baby to throw to queen size. It like big jumps.
The baby is pretty cute though. I like that.
That's 39 by 48. Which, yeah, I mean...
It's almost a wall hanging, right?
It's a large one,
Okay.
yeah.
I like all of them, but I mean, the baby ones.
But Clava, so mine is going to have... It's going to... Actually, if you look at the layouts, they all are very, very different. So I'm going to do the throw and maybe add a border on it.
I think if Chevis was ever have a quilt, I feel like this is her jam for some reason.
I just absolutely...
It's almost like the moon, different stages of the moon.
What's this?
That's really pretty.
Oh, I get a discount.
What did you find?
A discount code.
Ooh, for your next
$10
purchase?
off. $20 off in store.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I should go visit sometime.
So I met the owner very briefly. She was very nice and excited. So I've got projects that I could work on. And it's like, I mean, throughout the years, I haven't really ever done, like when I've gone to QuiltCon, I've never come home with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it really is nice to see the samples in the store. So he's working on it.
I am.
We're working on the samples. I do have one more head to have it.
What is that?
I could save it for next time. It's not here.
Then it doesn't matter. If it's not here, we don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's not here. So
Okay. Save it next time.
Yeah.
I have one.
Oh, I had to have it?
Yes.
Oh.
So I went out for local yarn store day.
Is it for me?
No, it is not for you.
Oh.
Well, we could share it.
Oh, okay.
No, I went to a local yarn store day. Went to a couple yarn shops. Went to Acorn Street, which is in Seattle, and our friend Tyler, who runs Thought for Thread, was there. Hi. And I got a scan of his yarn. It is Drift DK. It's 270 yards, 100 grams, non-superwash. It's 100% Patagonia wool spun merino wool. And the colorway is Tadpole. It's an OOAK, but it feels really good. And it's a, like I said, non-superwash.
It's not happening.
So I think it's going to be a hat or something like that. I just felt it. I like the color of it. And I'm always a sucker for kind of an OOAK because I'm like, oh, nobody else, maybe 5 other people or less have this. So that's why I picked it up. He will also, Tyler, for Thread, will also be at Flock this year. And you are going to make these people sick. I'm very excited to see his booth because he always has a very nice booth every year. And it was nice to see our Acorn Street friends. I haven't been over there since we did our little trunk show in February.
Was it February?
It was February.
Wow.
This year, every year, we always say is going so
January
fast.
and February, I thought, went pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, March and April are donezo.
Yeah, they are gone. We're almost in May. A few more days and we'll be
Crazy.
in May. Crazy.
Which means I'm going to be living down in the studio.
Because of flock.
Everything. Oh! It was empty.
Okay, good. Good. But that's all I have for Head Habits, What Are You Makings, all that good stuff. And I think we're almost at 2 hours for some reason. Are we not?
No, we're at 1 hour and 26 minutes.
Oh, I thought we were at 2 hours. Oh, because we had to do some testing before.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we can keep on going. Kidding. No, great.
All right, so love to see you. Thanks for hanging out if you've hung out this far.
Yes, thank you for hanging out with us. We miss you. We adore you. And we're coming to give you all hugs someday in your life.
All right, Yoan, play us out.
Come on, huh. You gotta get your hustle. Oh yeah, your fiber hustle. Your fiber hustle.